In this episode of the IT Experts podcast, we're back with Stuart Warwick with the Ask Stuart series. And today we're going to be asking, how on earth do you find more time? Welcome to the IT Experts podcast, the only podcast to help MSPs scale to 1 million, and if already there, get to 5 and go faster. At the end of the day, isn't it all about building a business that works for you rather than you for it? I hope you enjoy the show. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the IT Experts podcast. Today we're back for episode 2 of the Ask Stuart mini-series. How are you doing, Stuart?
I'm very well, thank you. Very well indeed. Fantastic.
Right. As we know now, this is the second episode of the Ask Stuart podcast series, where literally we take one question, we punch it on the nose, we have a no holds barred conversation about what it is, why it matters to MSP business owners, and why should they care about it, and more importantly, what on earth can they do about it? And today's question is kind of around a statement, really, which sort of goes along the lines of, look, I'm just too busy. I know I want to grow my business, but how on earth do I find the time to do it when I'm already working kind of like 100 hours a week sometimes?
Yeah, it's the holy grail, isn't it, in everything that we do? But we hear it constantly. I'm too busy. I don't have any time. How do I do what it is I want to do? Because I can't, and I don't have the time. And when I do have the time, I don't have enough time to finish it, and nothing gets finished. So I stay stuck. And this is the problem. You are consumed by stuff that is seemingly important, but it's not the stuff that's going to be transformational. And so with the majority of MSPs, they get to a point where they can do everything all of the time, but there's a tipping point where you reach a ceiling that you can't actually break through. And it's usually somewhere between 100K and 250K where you are running the business yourself. There's maybe one or two of you, but now if you're going to really take it to the next level, something needs to change. And it's that fear of change that gets in the way. And therefore you stay busy doing everything that you know you can do and you know you should do, and you can't let go.
And the other thing with this is that sometimes when you're busy and you've got your to-do list and you're ticking things off your to-do list, it makes you feel good, doesn't it? That you've gone through your little to-do list, your little notepad, and you felt good. But the problem is, and the challenge the hatred I've always had for to-do lists has always been around the fact that your to-do list is, you can't tell by looking at a to-do list how long the tasks are going to take, and more importantly, how important they are to the strategic direction and growth of your business.
Yeah, completely. And to give you an example of that, there was a client, Steve, 2 or 3 years ago, who was exactly this. I'm too busy. I don't have any time. But when we actually looked, and this is the first point, is do an audit of the time. Where are you currently spending your time? Because when we went through it with him, he said, right, I spend a day a month doing the invoicing, checking the invoicing. I was like, hang on. You're doing a day. That's 12 days a year. In fact, I think it was more like a day and a half. So in essence, it's probably 2 days. I remember him saying this because we managed to, in a 4-week period, we managed to help him delegate that to somebody who was there to do finance, but he still didn't trust to let go. So he spent this day, if not 2 days. And at the end of that kind of 4-8-week period, it was like, do you know what? I've just got back 24 days of my year.
Amazing.
24, that's nearly a whole month.
Yeah, it's bonkers.
Imagine what you could do with an additional 24 days. And that was all because he stopped doing something and in fact, in this case, it was his wife who was doing the finances. He showed her how to do the bits that he thought that he should only do. 24 days a month, a year back.
But this boils down to trust, doesn't it? So, many people listening to this will be the business owners who started up as techies, and now all of a sudden they've got to trust other people to do the job as good as they did.
Totally. And it's fear of letting go. If I give it to someone else, it won't be done properly. It won't be done on time. Something will go wrong. The business will fail. I'll go bust. I'll go out of, business and I'll look an idiot. Deep down, there are these fears about us not letting go, us not investing, all these kind of things that stop us doing things. And actually, we've all done it, we've done something that we were scared of doing, and we look back and go, God, I wish I'd done that 12 months ago or 12 years ago. If only I'd I'd be in a different place now. So what can you let go of today that will transform time in your day to do something different? Like go to the gym.
Yep.
Like start running, go fishing, whatever it might be. And it's remarkable the insights you get when you aren't in your business. Do you remember Andy that came in about 3 years ago? And he didn't realize that when he went on holiday, he didn't get, and this is quite unusual actually, but he said, do you know what, Stuart? When I'm on holiday, I don't get any calls from the team. I went, what does that tell you? He says, I should go on holiday more often. And he realized that when he was in the business, in his office with its glass window next door, he was actually listening out and joining. He was actually his own worst enemy, that he was getting involved in the discussions that he didn't need to, because when he was on holiday, he couldn't get involved and the team didn't actually need him. So in many cases, you're your own worst enemy of doing the things you don't need to do or getting involved in conversations you don't need to, which would allow you to do other things.
But, there's a bit more of a serious, point to this around kind of mental health and burnout as well, isn't there? Because everybody's got their own battery life, and no matter how much we all think we're indestructible, every now and then common cold will come and take the wind out your sails. And the reason it does that is because it's just slowing down.
Yeah.
And we see this quite a bit, don't we?
Yeah. And if you were going to do a risk analysis on your business, it's like, well, actually, you're the single point of failure in your business. Now, okay, you get by because, everyone can... most clients are tolerant if you're sick with the flu for 3 or 4 or even 5 days. But longer than that, your business could start to, unravel and implode. And again, that's the fear that you've got to work. You never relax. You never take time off. You feel you've got to work even when you're ill. And of course, you can do that when you're in your 20s and your 30s. But many MSPs are still running their MSPs, and they're in their 40s and their 50s, and they don't have the resilience and the energy that they had. I know we'd all like to, but they don't. And so you are at risk of a cataclysmic event, whether it's somebody leaving, you being ill, a big client leaving you. Suddenly that can take you from a nice, tidy business to one that's imploding and feeling like it's imploding. And that's not a place you want to be. So, understanding where you're spending your time and actually to what extent are you the cause of the effect of having no time and getting out of your own way. The other thing is to understand and have a think about what it is you do and what can you give to other people. It's like having a delegation plan. If you've got a plan, if you've got a team, who can actually step up and do some other stuff? Who could you give stuff to? Like the chap I was just speaking to a moment ago, Steve, he wasn't involving his wife, who was a willing and able partner, in the stuff that she was more than capable of doing, but he was scared of letting go of or didn't think he could let go of, So what could you delegate and give to others that would give you more time to do something else?
Give us a top delegation tip, Stuart, just while I'm just interrupting here. What do you, to help build that trust? It's easy for us to sit here and say, I'll just delegate it to other members of your team. But remember that many people are going to be going, well, I don't trust them. I don't think they've got the right competence. I don't think they're going to do it properly. They're not going to be as good as me. It's just going to be just as easy for me to do it. What would your number one bullet from the gun be to say, just do this? And it will help you to have the confidence to delegate to others, and others' confidence that they're not actually going to let you down as well, I'm guessing.
I think the simple one is write down the steps that you automatically do. So most of what you do every day, you do unconsciously. So if you're doing the billing, you think, right, okay, I need to do the billing, or I need to check the billing. So I'm going to check this, this, and this. And if you actually think about what you actually do, I go into Xero, I do this, I then print that, I then cross-reference that to that, I then do that. Suddenly you are demystifying what you think is a dark art and only you can do into something that somebody else could follow. You then just need to shoot a video, a little Loom video. Video on your phone, or sit with them 1 or 2 times and show them what to do, and then spend some time checking what they've done to make sure that they understand it and that they can do it accurately. You're done. Again, it is a little bit of an investment of time to make time, but you're doing it for the benefit of your future self and your future profits.
Pay you back in droves, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. The other key thing is to look at what you're doing. So, Ian, you've always used the phrase, look at the value of the tasks you're doing.
Yeah.
Is that a £10 task, a £100 task, or a £1,000 task? And if you're a business owner, you want to be focused on the £1,000 tasks, the things that are going to, the big levers in your business that are going to make the biggest difference. If you're doing £10 tasks that anybody could do, even an apprentice, then that's not the best use of your time. So if we come back to the first point, which was about time audit, where are you spending your time? But what are you spending your time doing? And is that a £10 task, a £100 task? And in fact, as a business owner, assuming you've got, some form of team or outsource solution, you should be spending the majority of your time on those £1,000 tasks. New clients, existing clients, coming up with plans for automation and the better use of your PSA and your RMM and your product stack. They're the things that are the £1,000 tasks that nobody else can do. Everything else, try and get others to do it.
Exactly.
So the final tip, I think, then, is to look at what interrupts your day. So there's one thing of all the tasks that you feel you have to do. So we've talked about that. What are you doing and when are you doing it? The other side of it is where do you get interrupted? Because if your team, and we hear this so much, don't we, but all my team are asking me questions all the time. Well, what are they? Again, take a step back and work out who is interrupting your time. The classic one is clients. In the early days, you give your mobile phone number out to everybody, don't you? So
it takes a couple of minutes.
Yeah, you give me a call. I'll be able to look after you, because you feel like the hero, don't you? You're wearing your pants outside your trousers. You're Mr. Superman, and you're rescuing the clients because they're ringing you. But actually, you're finding out that you're spending all this time doing £10 and £100 tasks when it really should be going to somebody else. So get rid of clients calling you direct. Have your out of office, so the emails, so clients are informed and suppliers are informed that you're not available, and that how to get hold of the support desk, the finance team, so that they've got a point of follow-up. Don't take phone calls. Change your phone number if you can. Whatever it is, don't make yourself so available. Let it go to voicemail, and have your voicemail actually saying, I'm not available for support, call this number, for accounts, call this number, or email this email address instead of phoning. So I think make yourself less available and value yourself, value your time, because the more you spend your time on £1,000 tasks, the more effective you will be, the better business you'll have, the more time you'll have, and the happier you'll be.
That's brilliant. Some really, really great tips there, Stuart. And just before we wrap up into a summary and ask you for your top of the hour, what's the top tips we want to bring this into a land, I just want to remind you guys, the reason that we're doing the series Ask Stuart is because we're taking those questions that you in the channel are asking. So it would be wrong of us if we didn't put a link in these show notes to say, if you've got a question, fill out the details on the form, ask us a question. We'll do a podcast about it, and we'll shout you out as well if you want it to be shouted out.
Yeah, you can be anonymous.
And we'll ask those questions. We'll tag you in and let you know when it is. We'll fix your problem in one of the podcasts as well. So, Stuart, wrapping this one up. Okay, so just bringing this one into land now, Stuart, what's your kind of final thoughts on this one, which was all about, I'm too busy. How do I find the time? How do I stop doing silly things when I'm already working 100 hours a week?
Yeah, time is our most precious resource, as we all know. The simple thing is stop, do a time audit. Where are you spending your time? What are you spending your time on? Is it £100, £1,000 or £10 tasks? And work out what you can delegate. What of those £100 and £10 tasks can you delegate to other people? Even if it's to an outsourced person like an accountant or a bookkeeper. Involve them, and also work out where you're losing time. Train your clients to go to your team, not you, and train your staff how to engage with you when appropriately. Working out all of those three things, and you'll be amazed at how much time. And we find, Ian, the final thing is you can find probably between a day and 2 days a week to work on your business if you're really, really clear and structured about how you manage your time.
Brilliant.
It's down to you.
Now, we want to share with you one of our resources, but we're not just going to put a link in the show notes and say, download that, you need it. Talk to people about our Create More Time formula, Stuart. What is it? What's the format? And what are they going to get out of it once they've finished reading it?
Yeah, we created it some years ago because this is probably the number one question, or the number one barrier to doing things differently. So the Create More Time formula does exactly what it says on the tin. There's a very simple formula for understanding how to create more time. Follow the steps. It's a 2 or 3 minute read. It is probably the most powerful process that, if you adopted it, will transform the things that you do in your life going forward. And it's not just a tool that will work for business. It'll work for your personal time as well.
That's brilliant. Thanks again, Stuart, for your insights into this great question. And I look forward to catching up with you on the next one.
Yeah, magic. Loved it.
So I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, I'd love it if you could leave a rating and review on your favourite podcast platform. If you want to learn more about how to take your MSP to $1 million, or if you're already there, go faster, then come and join Stuart Warwick and myself in the Scale with Confidence Facebook group. The link is in the show notes. You go and enjoy the rest of your day, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.